Betelgeuse Romani-Conti is the Archbishop of Sloth in ReZero. He first appeared in Season 1, where he led a group to attack Arlem Village within Roswell's domain. He embodies the concept of insanity. He's highly self-destructive, frequently injuring himself in manic fits. He often talked in strange positions, and also engaged in various extreme gestures. Before the main story, he was originally a moderate and well-respected guy, but for an unknown reason, he participated in the founding of the witch cult. Sometime after that, he became close with Emilia and Fortuna in Elior Forest. Also, when he first met Emilia, for another unknown reason, she was of great importance to him, causing him to break down in tears due to happiness. Gius cared deeply for the times he spent there. However, this changed when Regulus and Pandora attacked. In an attempt to protect those he cared about, he forcefully absorbed the witch factor of Sloth, which was incompatible with him. He put up a decent fight against him, but ultimately, he was overpowered quite easily. Under Pandora's manipulation, he was tricked into killing Fortuna, which shattered his mind completely. It led to the descent of his madness, ending the good Betelgeuse. As the Archbishop of Sloth, he mostly uses the authority Unseen Hand in combat. It's a terrifying telekinetic ability, allowing him to control invisible hands that can crush and tear opponents. Apart from that, Betelgeuse was also able to take control of people, effectively body swapping with them. He had to share a part of his witch factor to possess them, reducing the number of unseen hands he could summon until he regained those shared parts. The unseen hands were tremendously strong, and by combining them, you can make bigger and stronger hands. At the end of the arc, however, he was defeated by the goat, Natsuki Subaru, where he came up with a plan to counter the Archbishop, and alongside Julius and some others, they successfully managed to corner him. It all led up to the end where his body was set on fire and crushed by a dragon carriage's wheels. Sirius Romani-Conti is the Archbishop of Wrath in ReZero. She first makes her appearance at the start of Season 3, leading the assault on the Watergate city of Pristella. She speaks in an intimate yet off-putting manner, and as seen by her position, Sirius can be incredibly wrathful. Apart from that, she normally gives off a disgusting aura. She is also Betelgeuse's stalker, and his self-proclaimed wife, as seen with her surname, Romani-Conti. Strangely enough, she thinks that her love, Betelgeuse, is actually Subaru, simply because he's currently holding the Sloth witch factor inside of him. Additionally, she also holds an immense hatred for Satella, and that goes on to Emilia as well, who resembles her a lot. Sirius has no problems with doing whatever it takes to win, taking hostages without hesitation to gain an advantage. Currently, little is known about Sirius's past, including how she became a Sin Archbishop in the first place, but a popular fan theory speculates that Sirius is the insanity-inflicted alter ego of Fortuna. I mean, their resemblance is uncanny, so it's probably her. Sirius's authority of wrath allows her to use the ability called soul washing. By sharing and amplifying her emotions like anger, sorrow, joy, or ecstasy among people within her vicinity, she can drive them to share the same emotions as herself, which often leads people to be filled with madness. She can also share physical sensations like pain or injuries to others within her area of effect, which means that if Sirius were to die, other people in her vicinity would follow suit, making her a really difficult combatant to face. Sirius's weapons of choice were a pair of long golden steel chains wrapped around her. Her chains allowed her to strike opponents from afar and up close, and it was said that she had masterful skills with them. Regulus Corneus is the Archbishop of Greed in ReZero. He first appeared at the start of Season 2, where he, alongside Lai Kaitos, attacked the injured soldiers that were heading back against the battle with the White Whale. He is the strongest Archbishop, with an incredibly overpowered ability that practically makes him invincible, with the addition of being one of the only people with the ability to go up against Reinhard, the strongest person in ReZero. He exhibits a corrupt, narcissistic, and sociopathic personality. He justifies his extreme selfishness by insisting he is unselfish, often leading him to kill anyone who challenges his twisted ideals. Roughly 100 years ago, he had a toxic family life and viewed that everyone looked down on him. After obtaining the witch factor of greed, he murdered his family and entire home country, starting his path as the Archbishop. Regulus's greed extends to his love life as well, where he has forced over 290 women to marry him, with many of them dying under his control. In the witch cult, he is known as the leader of the Radical faction, playing a role in the attacks on Elior Forest and the fortified city of Garkla, which housed thousands of soldiers, and the Walachian hero Kurgan. His main abilities are Lion's Heart and Little King. While using Lion's Heart, Regulus becomes a distortion in space-time. The effects of this ability allows Regulus to stop the time of his own body and the things around him. It is an unrivaled power of attack and defense depending on how it's used, as it allows him to simply just ignore any and every form of damage dealt to to his body as a result of having his own time stop. And I mean anything. While the power was active, did not have any need for eating, drinking, or even breathing, and his body did not age a single second. One of his most recognizable attack methods is him stopping the air produced by himself. With a simple swipe of his hand, produced a vortex of wind, traveling in a straight line towards its target. By stopping its time, the wind would not dissipate, but instead turn into an invisible blade, cutting anything in its path. Though Lionheart has one limitation. He can only maintain this state for 5 seconds, without suffering severe pain or risking heart failure. However, Regulus has a complementary ability, called Little King, allows Regulus to link his heart with those that he considers his wives, extending his power indefinitely as long as those hearts beat, bypassing the time constraint altogether. Capella Emerada Lagunica is the Sin Archbishop of Lust. She debuted in Arc 5 along with her peers. Capella is stated to have the worst personality among the Sin Archbishops. She speaks in a manner that tramples over other people, while having a cruel personality to pair with it. Capella claims that all the love and respect in the world exists only to be utilized by herself. She views others as mere bags of meat, meant only to live as to she sees fit. She has zero care in human life, and revels in the pain of others. Apart from that, Capella is also known as the Mother, the head of a mysterious assassin organization. She has the authority of lust, and it allows her the ability of transmutation and transfiguration. This includes modifying her own body parts, turning into animals, or even a large black dragon, and she can even use this ability on others. All of her transformed body parts are fully functional and extremely useful in combat. Additionally, she can regenerate from fatal wounds by transforming damaged parts. She also possesses a unique type of blood that is said to be mixed with dragon blood. It contains a great curse that covers their target with black veins, making them extremely sickly and in pain. Lai Batang Kaitos is one of the 3 Archbishops of Gluttony. He was introduced in the 3rd arc of the series alongside Regulus. He embodies the aspect of gourmet among the Gluttony siblings, and he believes that consuming the lives of others enriches his own existence. Due to the numerous scars on his body, we can make the assumption that he had a rough past. He also seems to have a history with merchants, judging by the grudge and harsh view he seems to bear towards them. His authority of gluttony allows him to consume the names and memories of his opponents. To eat a name, he had to touch them with his left hand, and then lick the same palm of the hand as well, and then fully chant their full name. Things such as experience, talents, and memories all served as food for him. However, if he ate a fake name, he became plagued with severe nausea, often throwing up 3 seconds after. If only the memories are consumed, the person becomes an amnesiac, and essentially a different individual. If both names and memories are eaten, the person becomes a lifeless shell, no longer eating, excreting, or aging, with the addition of being completely forgotten by the world. Lai's trump card, Eclipse, has 2 main forms, Solar Eclipse and Lunar Eclipse. Lunar Eclipse allows him to use his victim's memories and skills, allowing Lai to be an absolute beast in combat. Solar Eclipse allows Lai to harvest his victim's name and transform into their appearance accordingly. Roy Alphard is Lai's brother, and they're pretty similar, except that Roy doesn't really care what he eats, nor does he place any special emphasis on who he eats. He's known as the bizarre eater among the Gluttony trio, and his approach to his meals, aka targets, emphasizes more on quantity rather than quality like his brother. In combat, Roy strives to exploit his opponent's weaknesses. He views combat as nothing more than a violent way of getting to his meals. He has the same abilities with his brother, of course, not much to talk about there, but with his gained combat skills from the people he's eaten, he was able to overpower the combined strength of Julius and Ricardo. Rui Arneb is the 3rd and last Gluttony sibling, representing satiation of gluttony. She was first introduced in Arc 6, where the Amelia camp visited the Pleiades Watchtower. Since her birth, Rui was confined in the Corridor of Memories. She only found satisfaction in the occasional meals that she was able to receive, which came from the effects of the authority of gluttony, as whenever her brothers ate someone's memories, she would also gain the memories herself. Later, she found a way to temporarily escape by controlling the bodies of her brothers, which made them aware of her existence. In Arc 6, Subaru described her as a girl that looked good with a smile, yet she gave off a feeling that she made light on the lives of many people. Rui eventually developed the goal of searching for, devouring, and becoming someone else, all in the name of happiness. She can take over bodies with other people who carry the witch factor of gluttony, and she uses this technique in Arc 6, when she splits herself while trying to take over Natsuki Subaru. When she experienced return by death, the Rui that had entered Subaru as a witch factor became traumatized and got into a fight with the Rui within the Corridor of Memories. The end result of this confrontation was Rui lost her original mind, progressing into an infant-like state. After the events of Arc 6, Subaru was forced to travel alongside her. Eventually, they became close, so Subaru renamed her Spica, and now she works to clear her name from the sins she committed in the past. Stride Valakia was the Sin Archbishop representing Pride. He was the younger Sword Demon's mortal enemy. Around 4 decades before the start of the main story, Stride kicks off his destructive rampage rampages across the kingdom of Lagunica in the events of EX3 and Sword Demon Battle Ballad. He's quick-witted and strategic, but harbors a deep-seated disdain for those he considers inferior. Stride was born into the imperial family of Wallachia. He participated in the imperial selection ceremony, successfully killing his siblings and getting closer to the throne. However, due to his inability to have children, he was poisoned by his father. Stride somehow survived, however, and after some time, he somehow managed to join the witch cult. Although he is the Archbishop of Pride, there are no specific examples of him utilizing the authority, so we don't actually know if he truly has the witch factor. Stride wore 10 cursed rings on his hand, which allowed him to cast curses on people or control their actions. The most notable ring was the Scarlet Little Finger, which could rot a target's limbs and eventually cause death. Stride was ultimately defeated during the Battle of Pico Tat, where he was subsequently eaten by the Black Dragon Valkyrin along with his wife Melinda. In the Pride If route, Natsuki Subaru becomes the Sin Archbishop of Pride, taking a dark and ruthless path to achieve his goals. This is the alternative timeline, which explores what would happen if Subaru chose pride over humility, leading to drastically different outcomes for both himself and the world around him. Pride If Subaru is characterized by his extreme obsession with Amelia and his willingness to do anything to ensure her win in the royal selection. He becomes calculating, manipulative, and ruthless, and of course immensely prideful. His mental state deteriorates significantly, which eventually led him to view others as mere tools for his objectives. This version of Subaru experienced over 80 deaths at the hands of Elsa. He was stubborn to call Reinhard at first, simply because of his pride. He decides to spare Elsa and join the witch cult, where he befriends and then subsequently betrays Betelgeuse. Over the course of time, Subaru works to wipe out the witch cult and force all the other world candidates out of the selection. At the end, he becomes the ultimate villain, burning down the capital, all for the sake of making Amelia the ultimate hero when she finally kills him. What's ironic is that Amelia never really asked for any of this and hated the result. It was his pride that prevented Subaru from realizing what Amelia truly wanted. Thank you guys for sticking through to the end of this video, and if you would like to see more, hit that like and smash that subscribe button. Also, if I made any mistakes or if you have a suggestion for me for a future video, please let me know down in the comments. Also, please check out these videos right here.